Hi everyone. I knew my video from the other week was going to ruffle a few feathers. Effectively, what I said, there are some cyclists on social media who I think purposefully position in secondary position. Although motorists should wait until it's perfectly safe before they overtake, pretty obviously, this secondary position for me invites people past.
Look at the position I'm taking up on the road. Secondary. What does it encourage this vehicle to do from behind? Come past. Is it? Is it? No. Now, that driver, good as gold.
Many people missed the point of the video. It wasn't to point the finger at cyclists, but it was to point the finger at some of the social media cyclists who, in my opinion, do this purposefully to create content. But the main point of the video was to encourage motorists to not pass any cyclists at any close distances. You simply can't be safe and you don't know what type of cyclist you're coming up to. Interestingly, one of the social media cyclists who is most responsible for these actions made a follow-up video saying that I blame cyclists for being close past. So, to set the record straight, we're going to have a look at a few of Sylvio's videos of him riding. I didn't have to go back very far to find many examples. In fact, I think these were all from the last few months. The first little point about Sylvio's positioning here is a good one. He's accommodated space for the overtaking vehicle of this white van, but now Sylvio's past this van, he should take primary. This will never stop close passes, but it will certainly discourage a high number, and as you'll see, this is right at a pinch point. That close pass didn't seem too bad, I've seen worse, but now we're going to go back to prior to the pass. So Sylvio's seen this pinch point a lot longer than the video shows. This is the first piece of forward-facing footage that we see. And like I said, after that parked van that was on the opposite side of the road, Sylvio should have been here. Rule 72 for cyclists clearly states in the highway code, when riding on the roads there are two basic road positions you should adopt depending on the situation. Point 1. Ride in the centre of your lane to make yourself as clearly visible as possible in the following situations. Now look at the final point. At the approach to junctions or road narrowings where it will be unsafe for drivers to overtake you. And this is clearly one of those situations. Does Sylvio not know this, or has he done this positioning to secondary on purpose? Like I've said, that driver should not have passed there, but this is the perfect example of what I was talking about in my video. This next example from Sylvio's channel is an example of even when you do take up primary position, you'll often get close past. And there's nothing you can do about it. Watch the grey BMW SUV. I think they could be in the wrong lane to do this right turn, but they do it anyway. These are the drivers that you must watch out for. These are the killers. Even though Sylvio took up a great position, it still happens. And drivers like this should absolutely be reported. Sylvio had no contribution to that incident. Sylvio's happy out in primary at this point, but again in this clip, his consistency with his positioning's terrible. This next section is not wide enough for motorists to overtake, so again Sylvio should be out in primary. But he's just come back to secondary because he's looking to overtake this van on the left hand side. This is a risky move and goes against Highway Code Rule 67. He's also way too close to the vehicles on the left, and this positioning encourages the vehicle behind to start to come past, although it shouldn't. Sylvio now recognises this and now tries to take primary as the vehicle was overtaking, and then decides to pass the moving traffic on the left. Terrible riding. This next video from Sylvio was called Close Pass at a Pinch Point. Who's at fault? Now, we've already looked at Rule 72 of the Highway Code and what cyclists should do in this situation. Did Sylvio not know this road, or did he stay in secondary for too long? Obviously, it's the black van next to us that we're watching. Recently on my main channel I made a video about having a pocket of space next to you whenever possible when using the road, and neither of these road users do this. So when you're cycling, if a motorist doesn't give you enough room, slow down, hold back and tuck it in behind them, and maybe get out in primary. But Sylvio's all about pace, he won't slow down. So being partially a contributing factor, Sylvio gets his video, and now wants an interaction.
Now there is space, you see? There is space in there. There is more space now to overtake. There is more space now to overtake. That was very tight. No, you're right. You close past me. All good, mate, sorry.
Two poor, stubborn road users.
I had enough fights for the day.
Trouble follows you round, Sylvio, doesn't it? In this final clip, Sylvio reported the driver of this orange Renault. There's no way in the world that the driver should have even attempted an overtake. But again, were the same factors involved. Was there a pinch point? And what position did Sylvio take up? At this point in time, Sylvio's positioning is pretty good, but quite soon he would have needed primary. But he doesn't show us the front footage which would have highlighted this pinch point. Sylvio would have been aware of this narrowing at the junction at the far end of the road, but he chose to not take up primary position to stop this pass from happening, although we've already looked at it still may have. But my advice in this situation is not to battle it, just hold back and tuck it in behind. It's not worth risking your life. But Sylvio does it for the content. The driver of this Renault definitely needed reporting. They didn't give any of the cyclists some decent space. So in summary, if you are good at cycling, you can take up certain positions to deter certain motorists from coming past. It's not going to stop every motorist, but occasionally, closing that door just a little bit rather than leaving it wide open is a safer option. But unfortunately, it might just reduce the frequency of the clips you're able to post on YouTube. Ironically, Sylvio takes up a good position in the road in this situation. He does know how to do it. He just chooses not to utilise it for the benefit of safety. Keep safe everyone. I'll see you soon.